All right. Hello, everyone. We're back with another LMScast episode. I am Joshua Millage, and I'm joined with Christopher Badgett. And today we're talking about the DNA of an education entrepreneur and really what it means to be an education entrepreneur. So, Chris, I'm going to let you start it off since you are an education entrepreneur and you have been for quite some time. So what are you like, man?
That's a good question. I think part of it too just circles back to the fact that we created LifterLMS, a WordPress learning management system plugin that makes it possible to create and sell online courses. And as an entrepreneur outside of the education entrepreneur space, we really needed to understand our target market of like, who are we building this tool for? Who's it for? For example, in my past, I've done a lot of alpine mountaineering. So when I select an ice axe for how I'm going to climb the mountain and use that for self-arrest, and whether I'm going to be ice climbing or just straight up steep angle mountaineering, I want a very different tool, but it's helpful to get inside the mind of that climber or inside the mind of that person who's going to be using the tool. And yes, that's one of the things that makes it unique for me in terms of being a part of the creating force behind LifterLMS is the fact that I've also created and sold online courses on my own before that. There's a couple things I see that's common among education entrepreneurs. And the first I would just say is like, it's just an irrational passion around the subject matter. That's like number one, plain and simple. And to give some examples of that, it doesn't really matter what niche you're in, whether it's like highly professional, business oriented, whether that's accounting or stock trading or auditing, whatever it is, like there's people in those spaces that have a high degree of irrational passion. And it can also go to the artistic realm, like something like quilting or painting or drawing, or into the more vocational fields like farming or automotive repair. It doesn't matter, whatever it is, we all know it. If you look inside of all your friends, you can like very quickly say, oh yeah, that person has an irrational passion for this thing.
Yeah.
and that's a key component of the education entrepreneur, is having that passion.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, that's going to create the best learning too, is when the person who is teaching it is truly engaged at a whole different level. So I would agree with that. What else is part of the DNA?
I think a desire to teach is the next one, and it also comes often from a place of maturity. A lot of the people we run across, like as clients in the WordPress learning management system space, or they want an advanced membership site above and beyond what's typically possible with a membership site, or some advanced, experience for their target audience that includes some education. That maturity often translates into being a little older. I'd say that, and I can just say, looking at the Google Analytics of our LifterLMS learning management system software, that the highest group of people is between 30 and 40, and then the second highest is between 40 and 50, and then the third highest is between 20 and 30. So not that you have to like fall in one of those age brackets, but the education entrepreneur tends to be a little older than the people they're teaching to. And as I would say, it's more of like a 30-plus thing, though not always.
Absolutely. Well, what about the people who are under the age of 30? Like, can they be edupreneurs, or are they all like automatically internet marketers because they're younger?
I don't think so. No, I don't think there's a lot of great internet marketers who are older and younger. It's more an issue of, I think, the maturity to take the time to curate all that knowledge, have the desire to teach, and also have the organization to chunk it down into, curriculum that can be taught. It just takes time. But that being said, I know teachers like in traditional education who went straight from high school to college to get a teaching degree, and they were student teaching, and when they came into the high school to student teach, they didn't look that much older than you, and they're like right there with you. So it's not like you have to be that old. I'm just making an observation from the people that are attracted to learning management system software and the audience around that. They just tend to be a little bit older.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you can't do it if you're younger. And in fact, my hat's off to you. I think everybody should teach something as soon as possible, even in the teens or younger, because the best way to learn something and to master that craft is to teach it.
I would agree with that. I think as soon as you switch into the teacher mindset, there's an accountability and a level of responsibility that you feel being someone who's going to broker knowledge, and it forces you to go deeper. It's like something in your head just clicks in and you're like, I need to learn this at a different level. So I agree with that. Well, and I think the other thing about an education entrepreneur is the entrepreneur part of it, which is they want to take that and they want to put it together and they want to sell it and they want the world to benefit. They want to distribute it in some way. And it resonates with me. I think I'm kind of a pure entrepreneur in that sense, a little bit crazy in that. I think any entrepreneur is. And I think what I would say to those people who maybe have the entrepreneurial side, but they don't know what to teach, is to start with something. Like you started with omelets. For no other reason than like you just needed to like get in the mode. And that's what I've always appreciated about you, Chris, even when you wrote that or you wrote your book and then you created a course around how to write a book in a weekend or a blog post or something like that. And it's these mini experiments. It's these little tries. It's these like low threshold, low barrier entry tests that propel us forward. And I'm kind of speaking to myself because there's a couple of things that I want to learn and teach that I need to kind of just push myself through and go, So I would say to those people that don't know where to start, pick something easy and remember that the journey kind of looks like eating an elephant. I mean, it's massive and it seems daunting, but you just do it one bite at a time.
Absolutely. And there's often this dichotomy or this conflict between the educator and the entrepreneur. Like the educator is fighting the cause for education, but isn't concerned with the money. And the entrepreneur is all about the money and just extracting value in some way. But that's not really how it works.
Right.
I would encourage people to like kind of transcend and include both of those things. So if you happen to lean more to the teacher side, the education side, develop the entrepreneur side. If you happen to be like really entrepreneurial, lean more into mastering some specific skill and doing those mini experiments. Or something I've done is I've partnered with educators like in the organic gardening niche and brought my entrepreneurial expertise to their subject matter expertise, and then we're really powerful by that partnership. So there's all kinds of ways to bridge that gap of entrepreneurship. But at the end of the day, serious entrepreneurs are all about creating value and changing the world in a positive way, and that's who we're speaking to.
I love it. Well, Chris, this has been a good one, and I think it'll resonate with a lot of people. Hopefully it inspires people to take action. And shameless plug, but if you're looking for a system to build and sell your courses, we've got just that system over at LifterLMS.com. We're really proud of it. It's out into the wild now. You can go and check it out. There's a demo at demo.lifterlms.com. And if anything, regardless of whether or not you buy it, we'd love to just get your feedback on it. Feedback is really huge to us. It helps us create a better product for the market. And so it's really important for us to hear that. But yeah, Chris, do you have any final thoughts for the crew?
Yeah, I would just give another shameless plug in that we also have this great product, but we also have this great community that surrounds it of other education entrepreneurs. And the final thing I would add is that there's a lot of education entrepreneurs out there that are kind of isolated. It's one thing in my business experience and marketing experience, I've really noticed that these education entrepreneurs often are a little bit more isolated. They don't really pack up and tribe up like some other niches or subcultures out there. So that it can feel kind of isolated to be like, wow, I want to teach this stuff and I want to build a business around it, and I'm not really surrounded by other people like that. Yeah. We offer that with the community that's building around LifterLMS in social media and in our Facebook community and our forums and so on. So if this does resonate with you, it's just another perk to getting on board with LifterLMS so that you can kind of rub shoulders with other people that think like you, and we welcome you to that community. Yep, absolutely. Right on. Well, thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next week.